Podcasting live from across the United States, this is the Multitapped Podcast.
Hello everybody, welcome to episode 21 of the Multitapped Podcast. Tonight's episode we are taking a look at Sonic the Hedgehog himself because of his recent anniversary. I know we're a little late on it, but we like to celebrate, so we're going to touch on it finally, right? Tonight's guests joining me are the man himself, Matt Ezro.
Hello.
Then Lucius Showcase.
What up?
And Rewind Mike, the Mr. Clean of Multitap.
Hi.
Also, compliments on the Warring Sonic hats. I'm just wearing my standard clutch one, but you guys look sweet, man. That's the battle right there.
Absolutely. I gotta rock the Sonic hat.
It's funny because, I mean, Matt's got the Sonic hat on, but Rewind's is all like fucking fancy and a regular person hat that he could wear outside.
I actually don't, because the colors are just like all over the fucking place.
But before we get started, I did want to do one sort of announcement / plug type of deal. As you guys might have noticed, Jason Lewis is not joining us tonight, and he is leaving to pursue his own project, which will be a show coming up on his channel. So we wanted to thank him for being on and make sure that everybody knows that if and when that show goes up, to go check it out and support it, okay? But just if anyone gets confused as to why he's not around anymore, didn't want people to just be like, what the hell's going on? So check that out as soon as it's finished. But now that we have all that out of the way, why don't we go ahead and get into the meat of this episode, and that's Sonic himself. And the first thing I wanted to bring up was everybody's first sort of Sonic memory, because I don't know about yours, but mine's really specific and weird. And what I mean about that is my earliest Sonic memory, and I shit you not, this is seriously it, is I'm a kid, it's like middle school, elementary school, something like that, right? And motherfucking SpaghettiOs was doing a promotional with Sonic the Hedgehog, where if you won, you got like a day's paid thing at Noah's Arcade and a bunch of Sonic stuff and like a Genesis.
Nice.
And so like it was the first time I ever really remember just being hooked on marketing. And just being like, Mom, we gotta get Sonic SpaghettiOs. I ain't even playing. I need that arcade time. Well, because for me, here's the thing. We didn't have any arcades near me, right? So, like, the nearest arcade was way the fuck out there. So, like, I never got to go. So the idea that was like, hey, man, you could eat SpaghettiOs and someone will pay you to go to an arcade. I was just like, oh, this has to happen. So I can't even tell you how many cans of Sonic SpaghettiOs I went through. It's pretty crazy. But that was my first, like, real big Sonic memory. I don't know if you guys have anything quite as strange as that.
No,
Not really.
not at all.
No, not really.
I actually don't even remember this first specific time. I mean, I'm sure it was at my cousin's because they had the Genesis long before I did, but I don't remember specifically when. Went back to Sonic 1, of course, but yeah, I don't remember the specifics.
Just playing it, nothing as strange as SpaghettiOs?
Nope.
That seems fair.
Nope.
No,
Pretty boring. You know?
It's one of those unique stories, man.
Yeah,
Well, everybody's
gotta be
got
proud of
one.
that.
I'm glad mine involves food and arcades. That seems very telling for the person I am.
Nothing wrong with that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's actually funny that you kind of mentioned it. I know I've brought up this story before, but when I was a kid growing up, right, like my parents, no fucking video games. What are you, a basement dweller? Like, come on, guys. It was very hard for me to get them to buy me a console or anything like that. So in my neighborhood, there was two kids. There was the sort of popular kid, Ben, who had a Super Nintendo, and the sort of quieter, sportsy kid, Mick, who had a Genesis. And so we'd all go over and play Super Nintendo at Ben's for a while. But I remember so many just like sleepovers at Mick's, just like literally staying up all night, just grinding out Sonic 2 and 1. Just,
Nice.
Oh man. I definitely have some of those playing the original games on the Genesis memories. They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, definitely. The first time I played Sonic, like Matt said, it was at my cousin's house.
Mm-hmm.
And he bought like Sonic 1 with Sonic 2, and he bought Dick Tracy,
Oh, hell
Quackshot, Streets of Rage 2.
Dick Tracy Genesis. That's definitely an underrated license game.
Yeah, dude. And, those are like some of the first games, obviously, I remember playing on the Sega Genesis. And like years later, when he was like completely done with it, he was like, "Here, you want all my stuff?" And I was like,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Nice.
when I didn't get to play it too much because when he had it, he was like super possessive over it. So it was like, Yeah, dude, it was like super annoying. It's be like, don't use the
Precious.
game genie. I'm like, what the hell do you mean I can't use the fucking game genie, dude? You have 2 game genies. I can't use one of them? Like, what's the freaking problem? But whatever, man. So like, I didn't really get to play it too much. But when I finally got it, man, Sonic 2 and Sonic 1 were some of my favorite games, honestly. And I remember the specific first like memory I had where I was like, eyes glazed at the TV playing Sonic for the first time or anything like that, dude. But like, I definitely have like a super fond memory of the Sega Genesis along with Sonic, especially the Sonic. He gave me it with the box, and I threw out the box like an idiot. So like, I had
We
the
all
original-
did back then. Well,
I had
pretty
the
much.
what's
Yeah,
wrong with
we all have regrets.
Not the
Then there are
case.
people like Michael B. the Game Genie who held on to all of his shit. It's like lucky bastard.
So did I. So did
Yeah,
I.
There you go.
Oh, here comes
Yeah.
Lucius.
One of the lucky
fucking
ones.
Big dick showcase. Of course I saved
Big
everything.
dick showcase, baby. No, I had to fight my dad over that. He's like, time and time again, he would see my boxes full of old cardboard games, and one night I'd be like, "Why are these here? This is trash, right?" I'm like, "No, do not touch that. That is special." And
Yeah,
thank
no,
God I
good for
kept
you.
it too, because I got literally every single game from my childhood. We still have the boxes. Like my older brother,
Oh,
he
man.
kept it too. So I think he kind of put me on the right path. And we were actually just talking about this over dinner last week, and he was saying, "Yeah, even then I thought these were going to be worth money." I'm like, all right, okay. I don't know if I believe that.
I mean, not to get off
Right.
topic really, but
Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depended on the console back then. Because I mean, Genesis stuff, I can't imagine anybody throwing away the clamshells. But the
Yeah.
thing is that I got rid of my entire collection from back then. I traded it all away stupidly, so that's why I had to build. I've got a pretty good box collection now, but I had to build it from scratch again.
No, yeah, but
But yeah,
What
like
is it?
NES stuff and whatnot, I just tossed that away, unfortunately, or my parents did, whatever.
playing
I think
Sonic the
it's-
first time, I really can't tell you the difference between Sonic 1 and 2. So I don't know if maybe I
Sonic
did.
2's got tails.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as playing it differently, like I don't know if we got them together. Because I
see.
know that we had a Genesis back in the day, but we got it with Altered Beast,
Mhm.
and we got one of the Model 1s.
First
So,
Genesis
like-
memory, Altered Beast.
Yeah. Like Toe Jam and Earl, stuff like that. We were playing that, but I remember specifically 2 because it had Tails, and obviously me and my older brother wanted to play co-op. But Sonic 1, yeah, it's kind of like you, Matt. It just blends in. I really don't remember playing it. I just know that it was there. It was cemented as the other Mario, like Sega's Mario, which that just happened
True.
overnight. That just happened overnight. Like they literally found Sonic and they're like, "Oh, that's it. That's our mascot."
Yeah,
And
run
that
with
kind
it.
of brought the whole, because who the hell
Yep.
is Alex Kidd?
Yes, I was just gonna say, forget Alex Kidd.
Like who the hell is
That
Alex
guy.
Kidd? I mean, unless you were really into it, and I was what, 5 in '91. So the fact that I knew who Sonic was almost, I don't remember a time when I didn't know who Sonic was. So that's just kind of.
I mean, I guess
how
that's totally
transcendent.
fair. It's funny that Mike mentions Dick Tracy though, because like those were the 3 games whenever I'd go over to Mick's house. It was Sonic 2 because I could play his Tails and help him cheat like a bouse.
Yep.
Mhm.
And then Dick Tracy because it's fucking Dick Tracy and who doesn't love that shit.
Oh yeah.
And then Vector Man. Those were like
Ah.
the 3
Oh,
games.
Vector Man.
Yeah, man, just lots of nights like. And this is back at a point in time like when you would put on Adult Swim on Cartoon Network, and half the time it would just be like stills that would change color just because they didn't really have that much programming to run, and so it'd be like, oh, what time is it outside? Shit, check fucking Adult Swim. But I did want to mention one thing real quick, just because everyone was saying it. I envy you guys who grew up with console cartridges as your first system, because not only did I lose my boxes right, but my first console was a PS1. So I would lose boxes, and we're talking discs too. So
Yeah.
none of that survived. Not a dollar of it. You know what I mean? It just breaks my heart to this day. Like, maybe the only regret I have.
Like the only systems games I had that I mistreated, and I was just like, meh, I'll buy them again, was the Dreamcast, and I regret that because I had some of the harder to find games like Tech Romancer.
Oh.
Yeah.
I did that to my lone Game Boy games. I really didn't give a damn about their boxes. So I don't have
Ooh.
there's one box I think I threw away, which is my Link's Awakening DX box, which I don't think I threw it away until college. I somehow.
Okay.
I think I don't know.
Held on
why
to it out of
then.
spite and then got rid of it.
No, she would never do that. It was more just, I think it got crushed, or maybe it was just kind of like, oh, I don't need this anymore. So,
I mean, fair enough. It's just,
I'm sure you regret it now.
oh, absolutely. I mean, at least the DX box I can get back. It's not like it's that important, but there's just nothing the same as being like, oh yeah, this is my copy of Contra 3.
Absolutely.
This is my copy of like that. I'm so grateful for that. It's so nice, especially because my older brother has our other games. So even though I don't have GI Joe, I don't have Cobra Triangles box and manual, I know that it's still in the family.
and that,
So-
Yeah, that's great.
in the
Yeah.
blood. Yeah.
In the blood. Well, he's talking about letting me get it back. Of course,
Yeah,
I have to tell him that it's his, but he's going to allow me to keep it in my game room because it's just in a box in his
What a
attic.
kind fucking heart, man. See, that's
Well,
why I kick myself over losing my shit as a kid, because my grandmother every Christmas would mail me the new Final Fantasy when it came out. So, like,
Oh,
if I wouldn't have
nice.
fucking gotten rid of that shit, I would have, like, first press black labels, Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9. Like,
Oh, nice.
fucking kills me, man, every day.
Well, I have those. I do have those.
Jesus, Luke.
I had 7 first print run because I pre-ordered it before it came out, but yep, traded that in to Electronic Boutique or whatever. I think it was Electronic Boutique. That or Babbage's.
Babbage, software,
the one
etc.
time-
There were so many different titles they
Yep.
had.
Yeah. Now, the one time I traded stuff in was for my Super Nintendo. That's the largest amount of stuff that we got rid of, and most of that was Game Boy stuff. We traded in almost all our Game Boy stuff. Hold on.
Funny enough, the Super Nintendo is the only system that I held on to pretty much every game that I had back then. I don't know why, but yeah.
See,
I
I
still
think
have a childhood Mario Kart, Turtles in Time, Mario World, etc.
if I would have had a Super Nintendo or a Genesis, I think I would have held on to them. Because this might be kind of weird, and maybe I'm just fucking crazy, and if chat tells me I'm crazy, I'm not going to be upset about it. But, like, actually holding a physical cartridge just feels so much more real than, like, fucking discs, you know what I mean?
Oh,
so,
yeah.
like, when I was a kid, I never gave a shit or took care of them because they were, like, CDs. Like, who the fuck cares? They're CDs. You, like, wipe them off, they're good to go, right? Who gives a shit? But, like, cartridges and things you could actually, like, hold and care about. And fucking Genesis, one thing I like about collecting it as an adult is so many of them are in those sweet clamshells. Like, oh, man. Like, I would have held on to those if I would have had one as a kid. But regrets, right?
Yep.
It's so funny. I find
Both of 'em.
clamshells back in the day. I always didn't like them.
Really?
They reminded me of the clamshells that came with the Disney movies, where it was just
Ah.
cumbersome to store. And back then, you had a drawer where you put your games in, and I would have them all alphabetically. And the clamshells are like, man, I hate these. I can't put these anywhere. And now it's kind of the exact opposite. It's like, oh, I love these. These are great. Thank God they keep
Absolutely.
them so nice and they're clean. The other one, like my cardboard boxes, are all. I mean, they're still good, but it's not the same. You know?
Nah, but little plastic protector bullshits for them.
Yeah, I'm very. I don't collect box out of want. I buy something out of box if it with a box if it's convenient. Like all of my boxed N64 I have, which is like both collector Zeldas and Conkers and Mario and all that shit, Banjo Kazooies. All that was purely out of convenience. There was no like, I need to get the boxes for these. It was just like, whoa, look at this sick ass slot. Hell yeah! Like
I'm exactly the same way.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, I love lot buying. I absolutely love lot
I'm not gonna
buying.
go. I'm fine with a car. I mean, unless like a complete copy is maybe like a few bucks more, then I'll go for it.
I mean,
But I'm not gonna spend like 20 plus more for a box copy.
I like the boxes even if they're in bad shape. It's still the box. I'm not one of those people that needs to be mint. Like if it's got creases, whatever. If it's missing a flap, whatever. It's still something to keep it in.
Yeah,
It's
that's
just-
fair.
I
That's
don't know.
totally fair.
Yeah.
I will say, and then we'll stop the digression here and move back
Yes.
into the Sonic
I'm
timeline.
sidetracked, but that's okay.
It happens every now and again. It's okay. But the one exception I would make to the cardboard rule, and any of you guys can call me crazy for this, I don't give a shit. If I found a box for Sculptor's Cut for like $300-$400,
Oh, yeah, okay.
I'd buy that shit. And the reason why is even though it's a stupid fucking piece of cardboard, that turns my fucking $200 copy of Sculptor's Cut into like a $1,500-$1,600 selling an hour. You know what I
The
mean?
mag is the
Oh, yeah.
more expensive
Easily.
part of that whole thing there, honestly. More expensive than the box. The manual goes for very good amount.
That's fair, but I mean, even on eBay, you find just cartridge and box going for like $1,400, $1,500. Like, so that is the one exception to that rule. Like, I don't give a fuck about cardboard, but if I found Sculptor's Cut, I'd probably buy that box because that's money.
I actually bought
Understood.
that back in the day from Blockbuster because I liked playing the game so much.
Are you
And they used to
kidding me?
They used to, yeah, dude, I used to love renting that game, and they put it on sale, and I was like, oh, I'll never get to play this again. It's a Blockbuster exclusive. So
Oh
I
my
bought
God.
it on that sole premise of wanting to be able to
I
play
hate
it, not
you
knowing
so
it so many
much.
years now. Dude, but I threw the fucking box and everything out for it.
no!
I only have the game.
To be fair, though, that's still like a
All the collectors
$400
are
game, dude.
cringing.
So, like, you still have the game at least. But yeah, that's fucking sacrilege. Jesus, Mike.
Bro,
It's not that I like you. It's not that I don't like you. It's that I like you less. Like an actual tangible amount.
I like me less too, man.
Okay, moving on though, back to the Sonic.
back to Sonic.
Back to Sonic. So I find it kind of interesting because you guys make it sound like you don't really see a big, huge difference between the first two Sonic games. But in my mind, and admittingly, I replayed a bunch of them this week just for the sake of the podcast. But Sonic 2, in my opinion, plays a lot better than Sonic 1. Which is not to say that Sonic 1 is a bad game by any means. But, like, Casino Zone and shit like that, and we're not, like, leaving out the inclusion of Tail and all of those mechanics. Like, I really enjoy Sonic 2 way more than Sonic 1. Am I crazy there?
no.
I don't know.
I think
Honestly,
the biggest reason why they run together is because, unlike Mario or unlike other games where they change the formula, Sonic 1 and 2 are the same game. Kind of same mechanics and everything. It just adds tails.
Roughly.
Like, I really can't tell you any difference between the zones,
Special-
a couple of them that way. I mean, what's that, Mike?
The dope ass special zones.
That's true.
Can I collect those Chaos Emeralds?
Oh,
Hell
great.
yeah.
You were able to spin also, and let's not forget the inclusion of the multiplayer, which I actually used to really enjoy playing.
No, I love
Yeah.
the multiplayer in that game. I still think it's really good. I made Katie play
Of course,
a
let's
little
not
bit with me.
forget about the split screen multiplayer.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the one player where, you know,
Oh no,
younger
no.
brother or whatever could play as
I
Tails.
didn't really care for
Hey,
that.
that was me.
that was Katie
But
the
it-
other night, but that's normally how it goes. Whenever we do Mario or like Yoshi, it's a train wreck if we don't do it like that. But yeah, it's just I don't know. Even replaying it now, I think Sonic 2 is so good, and I like it more than 3 too. The only like original.
No,
I mean, Mike, we can get into it here in a second. What it comes down for me out of those original games, the like closest competition for me is Sonic 2 and Sonic and Knuckles. I have a really hard time between those two deciding which one I like more. But now I'll shut up so Mike can tear into me about saying I don't like Sonic 3 that much.
I don't know. I'm not going to tear into you.
No, go for it. I'm big. I'm meaty. Please, I saw that fucking face. Let's go.
Sonic, there's obviously going to be that huge split base. Usually it's between 2D and 3D, but right now it's between Sonic 3 and Sonic
Sonic
2.
That's
First
fair.
of all, without jumping ahead, I really don't want to talk on it yet because I'll jump on the whole thing we got going on right now. So, yeah.
Did any of you guys take the thing from Sonic and Knuckles and put Knuckles into Sonic 2?
Yeah, absolutely. It was a pretty good time. I really didn't
Yeah.
enjoy it as much because I was so, like I said, I played Sonic 2 so much, like a lot. I was just saying it right before the podcast started how, if I play the game and I die, I instantly start the whole game over.
hmm
Kind of what, I don't know if you guys watch, like what Moose does with like Castlevania. If he dies once, he's like, yeah, I'm starting the whole damn thing over. Like, that's how I am with Sonic 2. So when you brought Knuckles into it, like he doesn't jump as high or anything like that. So it was like, it really was like completely different for me. And like I have already kind of trained my hand to like press the jump button at the right part of the stages and all that shit. So like I was like, yeah, I'm not retraining my brain. Fuck this. So I instantly crossed off Knuckles and Sonic 2. I couldn't get down with it.
Damn. See, because Sonic 3 is a really good game, and that I don't mean to sound like I'm hating on it by any means. And like if we look at the costs of the early games too, then obviously Sonic 3 is the best one by like a $30-$40 margin. But it's just it might be near pure nostalgia because Sonic 3 really is a fantastic game in all aspects. It's just like I don't know, man. I love 2. I also just think it's Casino Zone, man. Like, out of all of those early games, the one that really sticks in my fucking head is Casino Zone. And not because it's even good. Like, that level's a pain in the ass to get around. But I can't think of, like, a more Sonic-y level in my mind. You guys couldn't see it, but I did air quotations there. Because it's just like, you're just spinning around, bumping off of shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just that blast processing and all sorts of dings and dongs and spinning shit. Like, that's... Yeah, that's why I really like Casino Zone. I don't know. Chemical Plant Zone 2. I don't know. I really like those Sonic 2 levels, man. Except for the drowning. That gives me cancer. I hate that so much.
In that one part on stage 2, area 2 of Sonic 2, 222, if you build up enough speed and you press jump like on the like little friggin' dips, if you press jump at the right time, you can completely avoid the water. And
really?
The momentum, you just launch above it. So, like, dude, as a kid, I figured that shit out, like, almost right away, man, because that water part with, like, the moving platforms was, like, so annoying, man.
It's horrible. It's that, okay, I hope you guys know exactly what I'm talking about when I say this, and it's not just me replaying it, but in that underwater section, it's that fucking, it's like the hill goes up and to the left, and then there's a little staircase that pops up. And it's like that one staircase that I just get stuck on because they're like, get this life under this staircase. And then you have to wait for it to come back. Oh, my God. It's that one fucking staircase, man. I hate it. I hate it.
A lot of trouble with the water on the aquatic zone, I think? It was like the Amazon type area from Sonic 2. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It had, like, eggs that would, like, shoot the arrows, like, out of the traps and stuff like that. And
Admittingly, it might have been me hitting the saxophone a little too hard before this podcast, but I think that's 3? Is that 2? I don't know. I feel like that's Sonic 3. I might be wrong, though. Like I said, it kind of blurs together.
No.
But yeah, no, I love the mechanics in that game. I know it sounds weird, but when we talk about old games, right, at least in my opinion, because I'm not entirely sold on, like, old game, like, go ahead, skin me in chat, I don't care, I say it all the time, don't fucking care. But, Sonic, when you play Sonic, everything feels like it's supposed to. Like, even though the underwater segments are really a pain in the ass to deal with, I like how sluggish you feel, but how much control you still have over your jumps and things like that. The reason I always like Tails and I always really like Knuckles is Tail, you really felt like you actually were like spinning the tails and flying around.
Yeah.
Knuckles.
Oh, yeah, the physics are perfect.
Yeah, the glide felt so smooth and like you could feel the knuckles punching in when you were climbing. Like that's what I really liked about the Sonic games. That's what really sold them on me. And I think that's why I even liked Spinball.
Oh god, Spinball.
I like Spinball. I just suck at it. I've never been able to beat the first, first stage, first world.
So I've told you guys about how I had Sega Channel back in the day, and Sonic Spinball was like one of the only games that was ever on Sega Channel. And I tried playing that first stage so many times, and no matter what, every freaking time you get eaten by that was it an alligator who eats you at the bottom, something like that?
Yeah.
God, I'd like a trooper every month. It would reset. Sonic Spinball be one of the only games because you couldn't play RPGs on it because there was no save data unless you wanted to leave your Genesis on for 20 days. Which is one thing that you didn't realize about. You're like, oh, Sega Channel, this is great. I can play Phantasy Star. Oh wait. That's not gonna work.
Mom, don't turn it off. Like,
yeah, right. No, and of course it was this janky ass contraption where the actual Sega Channel needed to be plugged in itself, and it would die on you randomly just while you were playing. It would happen. I don't know.
I've only seen pictures of it. I never got to try it back in the day, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Would love to.
You weren't missing much, trust me. Yeah. You weren't missing much.
Still, just to have that memory,
Yeah, the channel was awesome. Like they had like a channel to like promote it in my area. Like it would just solely run like Sega ads, and I would sit there and watch it. I'd be like, oh, I want Sega Channel so bad. It was the worst, man. I'd sit there and watch like the same ads like run over and over for like an hour before I was like, fuck this shit. I'm going to like ride my wheel or something.
And that was the other thing is that every month I would see Sonic and I'd be like, oh, nice, Sonic. Let's play Sonic. And then it would say Spinball after I selected it. I'm like,
they tricked you.
Son of a bitch!
Son of a bitch. Like, damn it. Because this was after my brother left. My brother left with all my Genesis games. and so I didn't have Sonic 1, 2, and 3 anymore. I had Knuckles still. And it was kind of like, oh, cool, I'll play Sonic again. I'm like, nope, Spinball. I mean, it's fun. It's probably something I should look back at again. But
I like it. I'll admit.
I really need to try to get good at that game someday.
Yeah, I'm also in the camp that I don't think I've ever beaten the first level. I remember being like, oh, I'm going to beat the first level, and then I just hit the upper part of the deck, like the second stage on top, and I'm like, oh, fuck me. You know what I mean? But
First zone on that before. It's not that hard.
I mean, you get it, Mike. You're humble and amazing. You don't have to fucking rub it in every 5 minutes. But I'm one of those guys that really likes crazy spin-off games, so I enjoy Spinball a bit. And I like pinball, too. Like at Portland Retro last year, all I did was sit there and play pinball the whole fucking time. Like,
Nice.
You know what I mean?
You were there last year? Oh, man.
Yeah, right?
Yeah. Like, we could have been... that's hilarious.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know. I have a fond love for Spinball. It's not me necessarily saying it's a good game, but it's me saying it's a game I like wasting 10, 20 minutes on, just throwing Sonic into fucking pinball machines.
Still wouldn't choose to go back to it, but like Matt said, it's not like it's a bad game. It plays
not at all.
perfectly fine. It's just tough.
Yeah.
And you can still get it really cheap. I believe you still can at least. Like,
A little
Yeah,
bit.
yeah.
$10 most,
10
probably.
bucks, huh?
That's that and Mean Bean Machine. They're not going anywhere anytime soon.
Well,
Anytime.
Do you remember Wacky Worlds? That the game where you could take like the little animatronic Sonic and put it on the board. Like that's
I've heard
another
of it,
one of
never
those.
played it.
That was another one of the Sega Channel games that I couldn't remember for the life of me until just recently. And the box of that is Sonic. Like it's literally Sonic's on that. Toe Jam and Earl's in that. It's like a big old Sega almost sticker board, and you can
I feel
click on
like
Sonic and have him spin around. It's pretty fun. Yeah,
I gotta check now to see if I have that. I'm curious.
It's good,
like
man.
It's like that Tiny Toons friggin' workshop game,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, Cartoon Workshop.
Yeah.
Huh, yeah, I haven't even heard of that. I'll have to check that out. But a lot of those games are kind of obscure and difficult to find out things about. Like, I remember I just found out about Sonic Shuffle. That's like something, you know what I mean? Like, I had no idea. Like, I knew about Mean Bean Machine, but I didn't know about Sonic Shuffle. So,
Yeah, I only
What the
found
hell
out
is
about
Sonic?
that game a few years
I don't even know
ago.
what Shuffle is.
Yeah,
Sonic
what the
Shuffle.
hell?
It's a Mario Party-esque game.
No.
Oh, for the Dreamcast?
Yeah.
Yeah, all right.
Like, there's so many of those weird ones that they slide under the radar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Looking,
especially with the Dreamcast like that, man. That was like that whole system was like a sleeper system, man. The only reason half the people even bought that was for Code Veronica in the first place.
That's
the
why
only reason. I'm telling you right now. Nope.
That's why I did.
In the chat, please, if you bought your Dreamcast for any other reason than Resident Evil Code Veronica, then I'm sorry.
That is so true.
Okay,
and
legitimately-
Sonic Adventure and Sonic.
Well,
Adventure.
Sonic Adventure.
Okay, I'm not in
But Code
chat.
Yeah.
I'm not in chat, but I'm going to put my foot down here and also throw a little shout out to somebody who is in chat. Literally, the entire reason I bought my Dreamcast is because Dolly Popka sold me so hard on Shenmue. Like, him and Jimmy Hopper were like, you haven't fucking played Shenmue? What are you doing? You haven't fucking played Shenmue? So the next day I was like, fine, I'm going to go find a Dreamcast in Shenmue, and spent like 3 days on Craigslist finding them. But yeah, that's why I got mine.
I mean, well, there was that good Zombies Revenge too. That was like an awesome arcade style, like.
Yeah, I got that game.
Yeah, dude, that's a badass game too, man. That was like.
Dynamite Cop was fun as hell too. That was another thing.
Yeah, that looks fun.
That.
Dynamite Cop. It's the sequel to Die Hard Arcade, if you can believe it.
Mhm.
Which
Dynamite
I didn't
Ducks?
know. I didn't know that until recently.
See,
It's a good-
I'm willing to tangent on the Dreamcast here for a second because we can tie it back into Sonic pretty easily with the whole Adventure franchise, which I think we'll get into. I think that's going to come to blows, but I do want to vouch for how constantly I am impressed by the Dreamcast. Like, whenever I plug it in and actually play games on it, man, I don't know how that game... I don't know how people didn't buy it, dude. In all seriousness, that console kicks ass. Like, with the exception of the chord placement and the D-pad, I legitimately think it's the best feeling controller that I can think of. It is so good. Those fucking triggers, man. Oh
No,
my god.
no.
I am
No.
so into it.
Revisionist history there, man.
Most comfortable controller is the 64 controller. Sorry, and I'm not being
Whoa,
sarcastic.
really? The
I
Trident?
love
I am
the 64
not being
controller.
sarcastic in any way, shape, or
Yeah,
form.
but that
I am
analog stick.
Yeah,
dead.
dude,
Yeah.
the Slayer
If
of
you don't-
Thumbs. I think I still have scars from that bitch. Like,
There's been so many times where you play Mario Party and you do that one where you got to light up the light bulb with the bike.
Oh,
Yeah,
God.
yeah.
Dude,
Oh, God.
I've easily burned holes in the middle of my hand
Dude,
playing
I had
that. No
sleepovers
problem.
with
That's
fucking
why they
like
stopped
quarter-sized
it.
blisters. Like, it's just I don't know. I am. It to me really feels like that console was ahead of its time in a really serious way. Like whenever I play Power Stone or fucking even Jet Set, you know what I mean? Like all those games are just so amazing, man. Like they're so good.
Yeah.
It's just no one bought the fucking console.
Well, I feel when again we're a little off track because we still need to talk about Sonic CD. But when the Dreamcast came out, it had many problems. The biggest one obviously was the piracy. It was super easy. Like
and still is.
almost yeah, obviously almost instantly people were burning discs right or games right onto a disc with a certain thing that would load up the code onto your friggin' CD for you. So, and not only that, but the lack of a second joystick. 'Cause that's like right around the time that the PS1 came out with the DualShock, I believe. I want to say that.
fair.
It might be dead wrong, but I feel like it's like around that
Mm.
same time frame where it came
It
out.
was still fairly new, though. It was still
But they-
fairly new.
They still had, and that's what I feel like would have helped Dreamcast was like if they would have just had another joystick on their controller, minus the piracy.
I don't remember the dual joystick becoming big until stuff like Halo, and that was when the Xbox was out, and the Dreamcast was dead by then. So
The first game I remember dual analog sticks being really popular for was Tomb Raider. It was like Tomb Raider and Spyro were the first games that I heard people being like, "No, you need to turn that shit on, dude."
not the first
remember.
Tomb Raider. No way.
Yeah,
the
no,
first
that
Tomb Raider
was
came
me.
out in the mid
Not
'90s.
even,
Yeah,
not even the
yeah, that was a
second
PS1
one. Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
So the dual analog came out on the PS2 in '99, same
No,
exact year.
It came
as-
out. They had
Yeah.
dual analog PS1 controllers. I remember getting one because I didn't buy it.
That's what I'm saying.
Well,
I
they're
meant
pretty much the
PS1.
same controller, and
That
games would
PS1
have a little bit of functionality for it, but
Yeah.
I can't remember any that used it. Like
Ape
maybe-
Escape, primarily.
Oh, Ape Escape is sick. But now we digress. And sticking on the subject of CD games, what did you want to say about Sonic CD? Because that's actually a game that I did not have any fucking experience with, man.
Same here.
Me neither. Yeah.
It feels disconnected from the Sonic series. The platforming is just so
sorry.
all over the place for that game. Like, I cannot grasp the fucking platforming in Sonic CD for the life of me, man. I'm fucking like self-proclaimed master at the fucking 2D Sonic game. So like, Sonic CD was like, and will always still probably be just a big troublesome mess to me, and especially with the whole future past mechanic thing. I don't fucking understand it. I don't get it, and I don't want to.
And we probably
You
just
don't
pissed
feel
off
like
we probably just pissed off a bunch of diehard Sonic fans. What?
Yeah,
Sonic CD's the best.
So far, the only comment is Sonic CD is awful. So-
Yeah, I know. I mean, most of us have barely played it or haven't played
Yeah,
it at all,
we have
and Mike's like shitting all over it.
Yeah, this isn't
No,
a game
the
that people are
fuck
like,
that
you
guy.
get it.
It has the best soundtrack. Stop.
It's by the Fallout Bros. It's fucking amazing. Stop. Okay, but
But yeah, I only played that game just recently, and it wasn't even the Sega CD version. I got it on the Gems collection for the
Oh,
GameCube.
wow.
Mm-hmm.
That's funny.
Wasn't there two different
Bunch
versions
of
of Sonic?
Sonic games for like $15. Like hell yeah, that's where I'm gonna go because the actual like Sega CD one's pretty pricey now.
Yeah, for a Sonic game, I would imagine.
Well, it's the only Sonic game on the system, that's why. So, not to mention the Sega CD sales were friggin' abysmal. So, the amount of copies out there that are probably still alive.
There isn't a
Far
Sonic
between.
game on the 32X, is it? It's just
Yeah.
chaotic.
It's still a
It's not
count.
really. Okay.
I would say it counts.
Okay, out of curiosity though, especially hearing Mike talk about how he's big dick Sonic man, especially at the old school ones.
Is that your theme, man? Big dick guy? Like,
Whenever anyone's braggadocious,
Big dick one eye
I say
here and his
big
new
dick.
insult.
Hey, it's less offensive than horse pussy. Let's just stick to hell yeah, that's fair. But
Hey, man, I like big dicking it more than anyone. I mean, come on.
what are people's opinion on Sonic 3D Blast? I gotta know.
I really like it.
Okay, so I'm not
Me too.
crazy.
He was watching my video. Should know that.
Pretty blast.
To be fair, though, Matt, I can't think, with the exception of that one Game Boy one, I can't think of a single Sonic game you didn't love that you've done a review for. Like, not even knocking
That's
you.
fair. That's a fair point.
We'll
That
talk
is
about
very
it a
fair
little bit
point.
more with 06 because I love you, man, but oh my god, it just irks me every single fucking time I think about it.
We
Yeah.
need to get his hands on one of the Game Gear games, man.
Oh god. See, actually,
Oh,
that was
the one
the
I get
only
told about.
Game
I got
Gear game
told
I've
about a
ever
number of
played.
times was it called Sonic Labyrinth? I think that's what it's called. Some people
Yeah.
say that's the worst, or one of the worst Sonic games ever.
See, that's literally the only Game Gear game I've ever played is Sonic. Like the just super slow and chuggy fucking Sonic Game Gear, whatever it is.
No
Like,
way.
yeah, that's literally the only one I've ever played. And the one time I played it, I was at my buddy Derek's house. We threw in the 6 AA's or whatever the fuck that monster took, and then we played that. And I
Few
remember it.
Game Gear Sonic games.
I
I mean, there's like
remember
some Tails spin-offs. There was
There's
that like that Mario Kart ripoff. What the hell is it called?
Sonic
Dash?
Riders, or
I don't know. I don't remember what it's called.
No, Sonic Riders was the snowboardy one, right? Isn't that what Sonic Riders
Yes.
was?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
it's the board one.
Sonic
A
R
random
was the
name
They
one
have
where
the,
the
It's a
Kinect
Sonic
one for
game.
the 360.
yeah, and then Sonic R was the racing one where you actually like
Yep.
run like an asshole, right? Isn't that one
Yep.
with Sonic R?
Except for Amy. Amy's
oh
in
yeah,
it.
that thing.
Yeah, where you
All
just
right.
fucking bounce off
Pretty
walls
awesome
and
I'm just saying.
shit. Great soundtrack. Like the plot, it's got an innocent.
There were actually 12 Sonic games for the Game Gear.
Holy shit! I don't think
Yep.
I made those
I'm not
onto
surprised.
the fucking. I don't think I
No,
put
that's
those in the
fine.
show
'Cause
notes.
nobody has obviously.
Yeah, no
played
one
fine.
cares anyways. So
Um,
on to
the only
drink.
one I would suggest playing is Sonic the Hedgehog 2. It's the same one on the Master System as well, so yeah. And there's 2 Tails games. There's Tails Adventure and Tails Sky Patrol. I haven't really played Sky Patrol too much, but Tails Adventure is definitely completely out of the norm. Like, I believe you have like an item box, and like
Whoa,
it's
what?
just yeah, it's really different, man. But again, it's a Game Gear game, so like
And what's the name of that kart racer? I know there's a kart racer on it. It's like called Sonic
Drift.
or something. What Drift?
Sonic
Drift. That's it.
Drift.
Drift. I knew it was the
There's
D.
And there's Drift 2.
Yeah.
See, I
And
never
Labyrinth-
played those, but the Sonic game I
Labyrinth-
actually liked was I guess it wasn't necessarily Sonic, but Sega All Stars Racing Transformed or whatever it is, that
Mhm.
new one. That game's actually pretty sweet. That
Yeah, I
game's
have
not bad.
the Wii one. Yeah, that is really good.
Yeah, that game's
Dude, I
solid.
heard it had some really dope stages on there, like Golden Axe theme stages and
Mhm.
stuff like that, man. Like,
The level design reminds me a lot of Diddy Kong Racing. That's the one on N64.
Oh yeah.
Like the level design where it's like really long and up and down. Like I don't know. That's a good game. I know it's not like straight
I've heard that the
canonical
sequel
Sonic. but-
Transformed is even better, but I haven't played it.
Yeah, the Steam port's the one I have, and it's pretty sweet. It's solid. It's a good time. But yeah, man, I don't know. Those early Sonic games just really feel like that's what defines Sonic. You know what I mean? I'll go ahead and be brave and say that I actually like Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2. I won't say DX because I'm not out of my fucking mind, but I know those games are generally regarded as just nostalgic and that they don't hold up, but I don't share that sentiment.
we talk about Sonic 3 and Sonic and Knuckles put together, making the best Sonic game ever with some of the most stellar music.
Running around at the speed.
No, Sonic 3 with Sonic.
We're going back to.
It's like 16 stages of just Sonic, and you can save it.
Yeah.
If you get the Chaos Emeralds, you can get them within the first 2 stages and just like float through that game, and it's just so much fucking fun.
Sonic.
Yeah, and I actually also recently found something out too that I guess, what was it? Something about the music. It was like Michael Jackson made it, but I guess he didn't
Yeah.
like the way.
Oh yeah. He developed a
Yeah.
few tracks for Sonic
Yeah.
3. That's
He
right.
didn't like the way that he
Mhm.
didn't like the way that the music he wrote sounded on the Sega soundboard.
Yeah.
So he was like, he didn't tell them they couldn't use it. He was just like, don't put my fucking name on those tracks.
He didn't want, yeah. He was not-
Wow,
Which
I
makes
actually had
sense.
no idea.
It
What
makes
the fuck?
sense when you think about Michael Jackson's Moonwalker and the fact that he was a big video game guy. So I think he was just like, here, let me do a little bit of music for you. And I think it's Sonic 3, right? I think it's Sonic
Yeah.
3 that he has the music.
It is.
Sonic. I'm more than sure it was other games too, because I don't think it was just the Sonic games, to be honest.
That's crazy.
Oh, really?
I had no
I hadn't
idea.
heard that.
Wow, that's fucking madness. I know that he touched Moonraper or whatever it's called, the one where you go around and pull children out of closets. But I didn't realize that he did music for other games. That's fucking crazy, man. And also, not to hate on Michael Jackson music's career. I'll admit it here. I don't give a fuck if people make fun of me. I have a soft spot for most pop music. I don't like Katy Perry. I don't like Taylor Swift. But some pop music's catchy as fuck.
What the hell's wrong with you?
I do not hate on Michael Jackson.
Shake that off.
Jesus Christ. Oh, well, 10 points to Dumbledore. Well played, Luke. But yeah, I mean, just so many of those. But can we agree that the first real modern Sonic game was Adventure, though? Like, that doesn't feel like too far of a bridge, right? Like, we can make that?
Yeah.
No,
Well,
Sonic.
you jump from 3D.
But, okay, but 3D Blast didn't really feel like... I mean, don't get me wrong. I enjoy that game. Like I said, played it recently. But it doesn't feel like a... Once again, you guys can't see them, but air quotes are going here. 3D game? You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly, and that's a point that I brought up in my video.
Did you, Matt, Mike, did you guys play Adventure when it was current? Was that one?
I didn't.
Did you guys?
No.
Did you play it, Mike? So did it not kind of reminiscent of Mario 64 when you were playing Adventure for the first time, where it kind of felt like, did you not like it? For me, it was a little bit like, okay. No, I just mean as far as, wow, I played a 2D Mario, and now this is how a 3D Mario is going to be. It felt like a natural progression, for me at least, with Sonic Adventure.
Oh, I thought you meant that they
No,
played.
not played.
All
More
right,
as, like, where it's like, okay, it was kind of like mind blown, like, oh my god, they just took it to the next step. Like, this is how a Sonic game in 3D should be. So that's why I don't understand all the kind of people hating on it now. Cause
yeah, I was gonna say. I mean,
I don't think people hate on it.
I haven't played that much of that game, but I don't understand where all the hate is coming from.
I think it's this new trend where people really like just branding shit as nostalgic, and like I'll admit, and this is even kind of the case with like Super Mario 64, because of how early they were and like the transitioning 2D to 3D, like we have to figure out how this playstyle transitions over. They feel kind of clunky. You know what I mean? There's some things about them that are rough. Like Mario 64, we can argue about some of the camera controls, and some of the levels are god awful and nightmarish. And
all right, you're gonna get people yelling at you.
Okay,
64 just has camera control.
Yeah, I mean it's a common problem. It's not just symptomatic of that. But I mean, in Sonic, many
the era, it was just brand new territory. So.
Yeah, but I agree with what
you gotta
Luke's
excuse
saying.
it.
Like I remember the Dreamcast coming out, and like that was the game that hit me. Like when you'd go by grocery stores, Walmart, what the fuck ever, they'd have the display set up. You know what I mean? And I remember playing Dreamcast and doing the Sonic Adventure, and the demo was the fucking whale with the bridge. It was just like that. It was just that chase, and just being like, "This is the best thing I've ever experienced." Like it was mind blowing. I don't know.
I'm pretty sure that's the first stage too.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is too. But I mean, they have their problems, but I don't think they're bad games. I'm really surprised by how hard people pan them nowadays.
What I think is that people are retroactively looking at them and comparing them to the modern Sonic 3D games. And they're saying like, oh, wow, look at this. Like, this is how the game is so terrible. Look, it's been like this the whole time.
Yeah, well, the other thing, too, is I think Sonic Adventure and Sonic Adventure 2 hold up considerably better than Adventure 2 Battle DX or whatever it is, and all of the special editions where they try to cram all that shit in on the modern consoles.
I was going to say, actually, those are the only two versions that I played, because I picked those up recently because they were cheaper. DX and Battle, both of the GameCube versions. How different are they from the originals?
It's mainly just like a bunch of content that was removed gets shoved into them and things like that, and I feel like it bogs them down. It just feels like it's a lot clunkier, and they're just jamming shit in there. And like I said, it could just be me. I'm willing to admit that it's opinion, but I think the Dreamcast versions play better. I really do. Just because they feel simpler and shorter and like more focused and refined and not as confusing, etc., etc. So.
Well, I'm probably going to do a video on 2 eventually. Well, probably both. But I'm not. I was thinking of maybe getting the Dreamcast version of 1 just for comparison's sake. I'm not going to do that for 2 because 2 is very expensive as far as Dreamcast games go.
I was
pretty pricey.
Say you should get 2 and do it because they.
Yeah. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll try to burn a disc or something.
Yeah.
Do you, man? Shit.
Yeah.
Dude, I believe the first
Shame.
batch of Adventure 2s that were sent out, like you couldn't beat it.
Oh, really?
So there's a batch of Adventure 2 that's out there that just you can't finish the game.
Oh, wow.
Are they glitched or what?
There wasn't anything. There was no patches back then.
Yeah.
It had a modem.
Like,
It had a modem.
Yeah. Jeez. I used to. I had my shit hooked up to the internet. I don't know about you guys.
Okay.
I didn't own a Dreamcast until just
Oh.
last year.
The Dreamcast was one of my biggest regret
Or 2 years
purchases
ago,
because
actually.
that thing was dead soon. I think I got mine maybe a year after release, and then they discontinued it when the PS2 came out. So it was kind of like, why the hell did I just buy this?
It still confuses me. Like, there's so many fucking marketing mistakes with that console, and it breaks my heart because I really do like it. Like, when we get to the fighting game podcast, little preview for later in the year, people who are checking this out, I'm gonna fucking talk about Power Stone a lot. I love those games, man.
I've never played those games.
Oh, what the fuck,
Really good
Matt?
things about them, but I've never played them. Like I said,
Me
I never
neither,
played,
man.
I
Me
never
neither,
played the
man.
Dreamcast back in the day.
I guess that's fair. I said, maybe it was just the Popka giving me the hard sell that made me go hard into Dreamcast for a while. But I fucking love Power Stone, man. That's such good shit.
Like, I bought it for Code Veronica, and I never even finished Code Veronica.
Oh, really?
I got to the part where you play as Chris, and I was like, "This is fucking retarded. I'm done."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's cool too. I think that's like the point of the game where you can actually use like the submachine guns too. Or no, you could use them as Claire also.
I just remember that game just being like, holy crap, this is terrible. I'm going to go play Resident Evil 2 again.
I mean, we had this discussion. I think Resident Evil 2 is the best Resident Evil. For me, it's a toss-up between Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4. I guess this conversation happened in Bane's stream. But I like them.
Either
it's
2
apples
or the
and
remake,
oranges.
2 or
It's
the
apples
remake.
and oranges. I like them each for entirely different reasons because they're entirely different games. But I am not even going to open up that can of worms right now. Looking at the timeline for Sonic Adventure 1 and 2, though, this is where, in my mind, the Sonic timeline gets a little weird. Because we see the Sonic Advance games here, which are fucking amazing. I loved those games. For a long time, those were my favorite games on the Advance. But also, this is around the time that we see Shadow the Hedgehog on the PS2. Yeah. So, I'd rather talk about Sonic Advance first. I don't know who here played those games as much as I did.
I did.
Well, we just talk about how
Briefly.
crazy it was to see
I just
Sonic
bought the
on a
first
Nintendo.
one last year.
Yeah, actually,
Seems really good at what I played of it so far.
It is good, but
Yeah.
Luke's brings up a good point. When I got my Game Boy Advance, my parents had picked it up from Target on a Christmas sale, right? So my Game Boy Advance had a big Target logo on the front of it, and I guess I never realized it, but I was sitting there on Nintendo handheld being, advertised to Target while playing a Sega IP. Like that's a
That's
little
funny.
fucking weird in retrospect.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like some weird kind of inception there.
No, that was nuts, though. It was nuts seeing Sonic go on to Nintendo, especially for years with everyone be like, no, Sonic's the man, no, Mario's the man. And me being a Nintendo fanboy through and through with all those Nintendo powers up there, it was kind of like, no, get the fuck off my system.
Yeah, I know what you mean, because I remember my sister had the GameCube before I did, and she had the collection of the games. So it was so weird to see these games that I associated with Sega on a Nintendo console. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah.
But see, I love those games, man. Like, even now, I think I have Sonic Advance, and I kept Sonic Advance, I kept Donkey Kong Country Advance, and I kept, what's it called? Kirby Nightmare in Dreamland, because that game's fucking sick, too.
Fucker.
Suck my dick, dude. I still got it, baby. But no. I remember the Sonic Advance games just, they felt really fast-paced, and I really do like the adventure games, but with the exception of a few very scripted segments, it doesn't feel really fast, you know what I mean? Like, those are where we start seeing those real action-heavy segments where it slows down and you're homing, attacking, and, it's more platform-focused and less blast processing. But the fucking Sonic Advance games felt totally like blast processing. I don't remember if it was Sonic Advance or Sonic Advance 2, but you could play as Amy and hit shit with a hammer, and who doesn't like doing that? I mean, I play Reinhardt all day. You guys know what I'm talking about. Like, that's a fun.
I mean,
fantasy
you
for
can
me.
hit,
I'll
you
be
can
your
hit people with the
shield.
hammer as Amy in Sonic Adventure.
Yeah, and not to mention Big the Cat, but gotta catch Froggy. But yeah, no, I really like the Sonic Advance games. I'm surprised I don't hear people talk about them more. But I think generally the Advance is kind of an underrated system. Like, I mean, people know it's good, but who the fuck collects for it and plays it? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, the Game Boy Advance is awesome.
Yes.
I get games for it whenever I can.
yeah,
I definitely want to expand my collection.
it's good. I think the last time I got bummed is I bought a copy of Superstar Saga and it had a dead battery and I need to replace and get it running again.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
one given.
What's that? The Kirby on the Super Nintendo, right?
No. It's the Mario and Luigi RPG for the Game Boy Advance. It's like super.
Oh,
fucking good.
Superstar Saga.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I know what you're talking about
Yeah,
now.
and I mean, admittingly, I got it for like $8, but I still have to get the fucking key to open it and change out the battery and shit so I can play it. But
I don't think they're like a simple change out on the Game Boy ones.
oh, I'm sure it's not. There's no doubt in my mind. This is my life. I'm sure I'm going to open it up and it's going to be filled with snakes and confetti. Like, it's just fucking perfect.
I was just gonna say, make sure you have a soldering friggin' iron ready
Yeah.
or something like that. But
And
sure,
and
snakes
a
and
whip.
confetti.
It's just got to get all my
And-
bases covered, you know?
It just kind of reminds me, not to get too far off topic, but a story I saw on Nintendo Age like a year or two ago. Somebody had this, I think it was a copy of Black Box Golf, and it kind of felt weird. So they opened it up, and there was like a wad of it was like thousands of dollars inside.
What?
What?
Seriously.
Hell
What?
yeah, drug smuggling. I think I saw that on Reddit, actually. And then people
Yeah,
started
probably
doing
did.
all those posts where they're like, dude, I opened up my Xbox and look, I found like a car key. Like,
Yeah.
all that shit.
And you get a new car.
You get a new car, you get a new car. But yeah, it's funny because I remember being like, man, these Sonic Advance games are sweet. And then going over to my buddy Kyle's house and him being like, yeah, dude, I just got some new games for my PS2. I got Shadow of the Colossus and Shadow the Hedgehog. Are you ready to play them, dude? And to this day, the kid is my roommate, love him to death. His name's Kyle. He is the only person I have ever met who likes Shadow the Hedgehog. And like, he fucking...
I may be. I don't know. I haven't played enough of that game yet. We'll have to see. It's going to be a future IUPG, so I don't know.
Innocent.
innocent until proven innocent. Yeah.
Zoom in on his face.
It's just, it feels so weird and disjunct, right? Like, I mean, not even talking about the whole aspect of guns, but like the whole narrative just feels so fucking weird in that game. It's like, secret labs and bases, fucking Shadow the Hedgehog, this shit's intense, are you into it yet? Like,
Well, isn't that when the TV show was on too? Like the cartoons have been on for a while, so I feel like that's why the
Sonic
games.
X or something. I think
Yeah.
at that point, maybe Sonic
Underground,
X.
man.
I feel like the
Yeah.
games needed more
Yeah.
storyline now because they're like, oh, we have this whole universe. We need to start making it more
I was
intense.
gonna say Sonic Saturn was long over by that point.
okay, all
Yeah.
I'm gonna say on this subject of Sonic lore, and I looked this up specifically so no one can stop me, is A, chili dogs,
The difference between
Whoa, God.
possible and impossible.
and then
Hmm?
B, the fact that sorry, I switched to the window that had the notes. Chili dogs first actually appeared in the Sonic comic before moving to the shows, but that is, in my opinion, the only piece of important Sonic lore is fucking chili dogs.
Just that. There you
Yeah, I
go.
don't know about anybody else, but the only thing that matters to me about Sonic and his story is that
Oh.
A, motherfucker goes fast, and B, he eats chili dogs. End of list. Like,
Important thing. Do you call him Dr. Robotnik or Eggman?
ooh, this is a good
Robotnik.
fucking question. Yeah, Robotnik.
I don't even call him Doctor. He's just Robotnik.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah,
of course,
which
he's
one
really
is it? There
Eggman.
is
He's
one- there
always
is-
technically been Eggman.
It's Robotnik.
In Japan, the way he was. But yes, of course, here, back in the day, and we'll always
so
think of him as Robotnik.
That's the difference? His Japanese name was Eggman? That's why they would
yes.
call him?
Yes.
Hey, I learned something. All right.
Yes, his
Well-
Japanese name was always Eggman.
Well, now I have a reason to even hate them more because it's Dr. Robotnik, damn it.
Yeah, I always.
Yeah, somebody at Sega of America or whatever must have decided to change it to Robotnik.
Son of a bitch.
I
It's
like
changing,
Robotnik.
like changing Dr. Wily's name to Steve. Like what the
Okay, here's my thing.
That's not his first name.
I understand the idea of naming him Eggman as that bald motherfucker looks like an egg. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
it checks out. I see the logic there. But
Oh,
Who
I thought you were
takes
talking
a
about me.
villain? No, yeah, not you, Mr. Clean. You're safe this time. But you know, how are you taking a villain seriously whose name is fucking Eggman? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
I just,
Like,
oh look out!
Robotnik
Here
was
comes
badass
Doctor
sounding.
Kittens. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not trembling in my boots. Like, the guy kidnaps animals and shoves them into robots, and his name is Eggman. Like, I don't know, dude. I'm in Robotnik camp on that one. I don't.
Bro,
fucking
he
get it.
takes the animals, he turns them into robots,
So now you sound like
and
a
then
robot.
they go, "Who, me?
Wait,
You look
robot?
like a robot."
Yeah, everyone looks like robots. What are you talking
Am I
about?
just lagging?
You might be lagging. Everything
I
sounds
might
good
just
on
be
my
lagging.
end. Yeah, I think.
Fine,
Okay.
100%.
That's okay. It's probably your Akora powered internet that's just lagging a little behind. Need to change the timing belt there, bud. But yeah, I'm definitely in the Robotnik camp. I am Robotnik for sure, no question. Oh,
Robotnik, not even doctor, bro.
yeah, just Robotnik. I didn't
definitely
see his
sounds
fucking
cool.
degree.
No, it's Dr. Robotnik. He's got a surname.
No, he's just
He,
a
went-
robot.
he earned that PhD. Don't you dare take it away from him. You think it's easy to put animals into robots? No. Only a doctor.
I take
can do that.
everything else away from him, and I will take that doctor title away from him too.
You will not. You will not. It's doctor.
And
The doctor is in.
Just to clarify it now, and I'll say them again in future episodes, but while we're on the subject of names, I say Eris, not Aerith, and I also say Titus and not Titus. So there you go.
I mean,
Robotnik for life.
Titus doesn't sound right. That's like Blanca, man.
That's fine. And this is coming from a guy who was a total asshole at one point about the Japanese pronunciations. That fucking Dragon Ball Advanced Adventure video. Oh my god. I mean, I'm still proud of it, but it's easily my least favorite video because I was a total douche in it.
I'll be the first to say it. Matt Ezro, Cygnus Douche Destroyer, 20x6.
The Cygnus Cup Destroyer.
But it's just like looking at the timeline, this is when stuff starts getting really fucking weird, man. This is where we see Sonic and the Secret Rings. This is where we see Chronicles of the Dark Brotherhood, Sonic Unleashed, Sonic and the Black Knight. Oh my god.
Sonic
I own
06.
all those games.
Yeah, Sonic
I'm
06, the
reviewing
big
them all
one.
in the future.
Which, okay, we might as well just fucking get into that now, especially since we have Matt here.
Has anybody played Sonic Rivals?
No, I can't say that I have.
Actually, no, that's
It's
one I
literally it's like a 2D platforming game, but it's like strictly a racing game.
Huh.
So there were like Sonic, Tails, Knuckles, like a couple other stupid characters or something like that. And it was literally just for the PSP, and that was it. It was just you'd race
Oh, that
on like
explains why I never played it because
So-
never played
No.
PSP.
just
No,
get that out of the way
yeah.
now.
At this point, I had thoroughly given up on Sonic, so I'm gonna have no experience with any of these games coming up.
Yeah, see, with the exception of the big rage turds, like, well, I'll be able to talk about 6, I'll be able to talk about Unleashed, I'll be able to talk about Black Knight. A lot of these I didn't play because, right around Shadow, it's like, oh, I don't give a fuck about these anymore.
Yeah,
Pretty much.
yeah.
I
See,
stopped
I
there.
have very little experience with most of them myself, so I can't say much. I mean, 06 and Rise of Lyric are the only ones that I've played to completion. Right now, at least.
Which mind boggles me. Like, I'm just gonna get into this steak because the gloves are fucking coming off. How did you finish Sonic 06? Like, a spoiler for people who haven't seen it. I watched your review. You said the story was good and the music was good,
Yes.
and I will fight you IRL. How did you think that story was fucking good, dude? Lay it on me. I really want it. I need to know your experience. How can you pass that game?
It was easy. I enjoyed it. So that's all there is to it. I mean, yes, I acknowledge that many people, had shitty experiences with that game. There are many bugs and all that, but I don't know. I guess I was lucky in that, my copy was it functioned properly for the most part. I mean, there was some bugs, but they didn't really stop me from completing the game. And the ones that were there were hilarious. I showed them in the video.
You
Okay.
exploited.
Did
you
anybody
not?
else?
Like Tails dying right there, that was just hilarious. It was like he drowned or whatever, but he's dead.
Are Ezra and I the
Soliana.
only people who actually played 06? Because I know Luke,
No.
you said you did, but you did too, Mike. Okay, this is my
story
fucking...
for 06. I actually have a story for 06, okay?
Okay, well, let me just tell my story real quick, because this is my interaction with Sonic 06, okay? I go over to my boy Zian's house. We're going to play Sonic 06. Super hype. New Sonic, it's out. 360, going to be the jam, right? Modern games, let's do it. Sonic. We get up to the first fucking part where you have to light dash across the rings to get to that level right at the start of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Couldn't fucking figure it out. Tried to go at it for like 40 minutes.
Devotion.
Yep. And then just gave up and was like, wow, if that is how the game starts, it cannot be better from here.
Really,
like,
you didn't go to the store and pick up the light chip
they
or
didn't
whatever?
fucking tell you to, dude. The entire game, they're like, hey, look, you're like in a town with people. You better go talk to them and figure out what's going on. And everyone else in the town is like, I don't know. I can walk and breathe at the same time. Do I get a medal? Like, it fucking blew my mind, man. I don't understand how people played that game. Like, I'm excited to hear what Mike's 2 cents on it is, but I just thought it was a goddamn travesty. Like, literally to this day, with my experiences with it, because I've tried to play a little bit of it since then and not had a lot of success. It's very like Final Fantasy 13 in that regards for me, but
Many people have said that.
Probably in my top 10 least favorite games I've ever played. I can say that pretty comfortably.
That's fair.
But no, Mike, what's your story?
The verdicts are always just my opinion. I'm never going to say this is the universal truth. God, no. You know, it's just, hey, I like this game. If you don't, that's fine.
No, it's not that your points are wrong. Like, it's objective. You can't, I can't say...
It's not that you're dead wrong. But I'm going to tell you why. You're an idiot.
Yeah, it's not that I can, without a doubt, say that you're wrong for liking those games. It's just, my God, that story is fucking fan fiction. Like, oh my God, gag me with a spoon, dude. I can't do it.
Sonic wasn't supposed to be in the game originally. It was supposed to be somebody else. Sega was like, we like what you got going on here. Let's put Sonic in there. That's how that story happened.
Really? Oh,
Because
God.
that was not supposed to be a Sonic game at first. No, that's just
Sounds
how.
like Star Fox Adventure.
That's
Yeah,
just how
what
it-
was the hint?
Well,
Fucking
because originally
humans?
Sonic did have like a person, female companion.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot what her name was, but there was like a significant other to Sonic that was a human female. So it's not like
Because even I'll admit, the art styles definitely clash. So it does make sense that they, there's relatively like, oh, bro Sonic in here.
Yeah, it's like peanut
that'll
butter
sell
and
copies.
thumbtacks. That's the way that I would look at it. The peanut butter
it's
and
like
thumbtack
Fox
sandwich.
Adventures, dude. Legit, just like Star Fox Adventures.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
except Star Fox
Rip
Adventures is at
Dinosaur
least...
Planet.
Hey, at least
No.
that's a fucking...
No.
It plays. It doesn't just break. Like, I could get into the whole
Hey,
silver
my copy
glitch.
played, well, I was going to say played perfectly fine. I was like, no, it didn't play perfectly fine, but it played well enough. I'll say that much.
The game functioned as a game.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I like Star Fox Adventure. I have
Oh, I'm
fond
talking about
memories of
06.
playing it while watching Temptation Island.
No.
That's a fucking memory. That's greasy right there. Oh my God.
literally, that's the only thing I remember of Star Fox Adventure is playing it while watching Temptation Island.
No.
See, it makes me laugh because, like, the Game Grumps Let's Play of Sonic 06 is exactly what happened to me when I came back to it. Because I had just bought my 360. This was right when I got my first apartment. I was just buying games that were cheap as shit. Sonic, I was like, whatever, I'll try it again. I'm not dumb as shit now. Maybe I can figure it out, you know what I mean? But that silver scene, man, it's just that glitch where you get stuck, and it's just that infinite fucking loop where you can't move, and you drop the ring, but you pick up the ring, and then you can't move, but you drop the ring, and then you pick up the... I hate it. I hate it.
I never
I'm
had
sorry
problems
that you
with
made
silver
that far
possible.
into it.
It's just...
Uh,
I can't do it, man.
all right, so I actually got Sonic 06 as a request for a Christmas present on the year it came out.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Really?
Yeah, so that in itself was a fucking burn, especially after coming off of games like Sonic Adventure that were fucking good games. They worked properly. They were enjoyable. On an inferior system, they didn't have 2-hour loading times. These were things that you would think you would get on a 360, but better. I mean, shit, games like fucking Saints Row on the 360 it was the first time where I could walk into a building and walk out and even walk across a bridge and not have to deal with a fucking loading screen per se. It's like every other game that was ever out.
Yes,
before that.
that's one thing that I can't defend. Yes,
the
the
talking
loading
to-
screens are way too excessive.
It's
And then
the
it's like,
talking-
oh, little cutscene that's like maybe 30 seconds load, and then this load.
I don't-
Yeah.
Like
I'll
in,
agree.
Mighty Number 9.
eventually, you'd walk up to
Yeah.
somebody.
Yeah.
I feel
Love
your
that
pain,
game,
bro.
but yeah, the loading.
I
is-
feel your
yeah.
pain, brother. I played the Wii U one
Yeah.
too.
Yep.
I got you, Luke.
I've heard that it's better on some of the other systems. Like
I have heard
PS4.
that too. I've
Yeah.
heard that too. But
Sonic?
And of course, I keep no Mighty Number 9. I keep on being told that the PC one's the best, which does make sense.
Even the
PC Master
PS4.
Race, whatever.
Dude, even
Yeah.
the PS4 one has lag. I have it on the PS4. Hush your mouth, you hater. You are a fanboy, like you said. Ever since I was this year, I had all my Nintendo games, and I've been a fanboy, and I played Sega on Nintendo, and my mind was blown. Even though you owned it, you loved Sega as a kid. You said it yourself, but you're still a fanboy. Go away.
Oh, I'm a fanboy through and through. I'm gonna be big dicking it around. Don't worry.
love all your games.
That's how you do. Be proud of it.
You're damn
I
right.
can respect that. Absolutely.
But no, I wanted to hear the rest of Mike's rant after the loading times, which don't get me wrong, that's good enough to burn the fucking disc right there.
Dude, just talking to it. I didn't even get to the point where I was fucking doing gameplay by the time I was like, fuck this game, dude. Because, like I said, with 06, you'd talk to somebody and it would go into a cutscene. But with Sonic Adventure, you'd talk to somebody and there'd just be like a little text box that would pop up real quick and it would disappear and you would continue on your fucking adventure.
That face you're making just fucking describes it perfectly. It's just like pure undistilled disappointment.
But because again, going back to we were talking about, dude, I actively still play all the original 2D Sonic games. I even turn on fucking Adventure every once in a while, and I love those games like to fucking pieces, man. But then going into 06, coming off of Adventure, you'd think it would be perfection, but they couldn't even get the fucking loading times down right.
Yeah.
Let's not even get to the coding problems or anything like that. Let's just talk about the loading times right now because that's what turned me off from the game.
No.
Honestly. I was like, I'm not going to go
Fair
through this
enough.
game where I have to go from one section of a town to another and I have to load. And then I have to talk to this guy to continue to open up the next area.
Mm-hmm.
So now I have to do another loading screen. And God forbid I die trying to get to that next area. I have to do another fucking loading screen. So it's just like, there was just, I wasn't doing it.
And that's
I
one
wasn't-
thing. Sorry to step on your mic,
No,
but
sorry,
Don, you brought up Game Grumps, and I actually have been watching recently, like the past year or so. I've been going for the whole John Tron era. I'm getting close to the end. But one thing that frustrated me watching that is they wouldn't take, they wouldn't. What you can do is at certain points, like after the trials, you can actually save there. I don't remember what it was. But anyway, there's certain points where you can save before you're going to go on a mission, but they wouldn't do it, so they'd have to go all the way. They'd inevitably fail, lose all their lives, and go back before that. I was like, you guys could have saved right there. Press start. There's save right there, and you would have saved yourself time. It's like, come
Okay,
on.
but to be fair, that's still trying to defend an intrinsically broken system. Like, it's not like the game's like, hey man, you can save here so you don't have to go back 50 fucking loading screens and kill yourself. But, like, it's so ridiculous. Like, the kid mission, where you have to go and find the kids. What the fuck is that, dude? Like,
Yeah.
Moonwalker?
yeah, exactly. Speaking of Michael Jackson touching children in closets. But, yeah, like, I can understand your reasons for saying it's passable, Matt, but I just feel like the whole thing, just down to its concept,
That's
is just
only like
fucking fun.
one, really, and like most of the missions like that are totally optional. They're the blue ones. You can just skip right over. But that one, yes, you're right. That one is required, and yeah, it's like, this really doesn't need to be in the game.
It's just the whole game to me just felt like A, shitty fan fiction, and B, completely broken. And like,
No.
I don't know.
He sold me on the story. You sold me
Yeah.
on the story, Matt. Fuck
Oh,
the
yeah.
game.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I love anime too, so Sonic 06 is great, but
You gotta think. He played it so many years after, dude. I played it the fucking week it came
Yes,
out.
it does definitely help
So,
in my case. That
I
I
have, like, a
played it
very-
much later. I paid
Yeah.
like $5 for my version, which was the Platinum Hits one, which is apparently the best way to play that game. Yeah, I didn't know that at the time, but yeah, if anybody actually wants to play Sonic 06, get the Platinum Hits version. 'cause
There's a
apparently-
platinum hits version of this terrible
Yes,
game.
there is.
It's a Sonic game. It's
Really?
its name alone.
Okay. But it's still, they re-released it, even though it probably got terrible reviews.
I mean,
Dude,
to be
YouTube
fair,
was a
too.
big thing, but YouTube wasn't like that big of a thing where people were like looking up reviews
No,
and
YouTube
like.
just started
I'm pretty
it.
sure Sega was paying off magazines like GamePro and EGM to fucking put in good reviews for Sonic. So like, that's like a whole nother thing.
Well,
but-
the other thing too is, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I really think of Sonic 06 as like the Tommy Wiseau's The Room of video games. Like it's the one that's just like so fucking terrible that everybody at some point has at least seen it. You know what I mean? So I could see it getting platinum status.
If Bane is in the chat, dude, we watched The Room like 3 times within a month, and we enjoyed it so fucking much.
I did not hit her. I did not touch her, Mark.
To that movie, watching it and just learning how to not do acting and stuff like that is like one of the prime selling points. But it's just like there's so many bad scenes to just bullshit about. It makes it more enjoyable, but not Sonic 06. There's nothing good about that.
All joy just immediately drains from your face.
Yeah.
Okay, this I'll word it
In a way,
like this.
I guess
Matt.
I look at it kind of like, because I didn't play Sonic Adventure back in the day, so I guess it's kind of like my Sonic Adventure, because they kind of have like the same format where you have different playable characters and
That's
all
fair.
all these missions and whatnot.
When you go-
That's why Sonic Adventure is getting shat on now.
Sonic Adventure, dude, it's gonna feel like a fucking dream, man.
You're gonna love that shit.
Look at the
Bro-
life is back in his face.
I would play the DX version because it's hard to control
Yep,
the
that's the
camera.
one I have. So
Because L and R on Dreamcast are to control the camera, and it's fucking annoying.
Mm.
You don't want to do that.
Okay, so here's my question for you, though, Matt, and I
What's
want
up?
you to answer truthfully, and I want to know your logic. Would
Okay.
you genuinely, like, sitting there on a Friday night being like, I feel like playing a video game, would you ever play Sonic 06 again?
yeah, I would.
He looks to the left.
Are you kidding me? Okay, no.
Yeah.
Okay,
Probably
why?
wouldn't be for a while, but I would.
Okay,
It's like,
is it for the story? Do you really like
when I
the
get
story that much?
senile and forget about the video.
That blows me away. So you would legitimately play 06 again, like, for fun? Really?
Oh, absolutely.
In time, though, time. It's not like he could just do it on any given day. It would have to like call out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Exactly.
That blows me
It'd
away.
probably be
man.
like at least like a few years from now. before I even think.
I
Well,
can't
plus
go
I'm
back
reviewing
right
games
now.
all the time, so yeah, don't really have the time.
It's hard to play what
Yeah.
you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We can all attest.
Very true. Very
Well,
true.
you guys heard it here first. Not only did Matt Ezero pass Sonic 06, but he would play it again for fun. Fuck
Yep.
me running, words
would.
I never thought I would hear. That's amazing. I applaud you, good sir. If you're
Thank
gonna
you.
dumbfound me, that's the way to do it. Damn, well played.
Somebody actually in the comments, I got a comment earlier this week. Somebody said that I deserve the death penalty for my verdict. So there you go.
Wow, I don't know about that.
Yep.
No, I laughed when I watched it because I don't know if I explained this, but I was lying in bed with my girlfriend. We're watching it on my TV, right? Because I was like, holy shit, I'm going to bed, but Matt just uploaded Sonic 06. We need to fucking watch this. I have been waiting for this. I know it's coming. We need to watch this. And I turn it on and I look at her and I'm like, you realize if he passes this, I'm going to lose my fucking shit, right? And she's like, there's no way he's going to pass this. Not 10 minutes later, my roommates just hear me screaming my brains out. What the fuck are you kidding? Oh my god, it blows me away. Yeah, go ahead and throw more salts in chat. I don't give a fuck.
No, that salt was for something you said way before that.
I don't even care, dude. It's just absurd, man. I guess touche to you, Matt Ezero. You are a man with a heart of gold and a much kinder soul than myself. I could not pass that game in good conscience.
Well, what was your first game for the NES, Matt?
First game for the NES, I would think it'd have to be Super Mario Brothers. I don't remember specifically because that was so damn long ago, but I think it had to be Super Mario Brothers.
I thought it was one of the Bible games.
No, that wasn't my first one.
No,
Man, that
I
would
thought
be a fucked up
Your
experience.
first game was the Bible game.
You
No,
get
how?
an NES and they
Well,
give
my
you
cousins
fucking...
did have Bible Adventure, and
What
that
is-
just stuck with me for a long time. Because of that blue cart, how could you forget that blue cart?
One of,
Yeah.
But
for
no,
the
that
record,
was not one of my first games.
One
That
of
was one of my
Dubious's-
childhood games for sure, playing it up there, but no, not one of my first games.
One of Dubious's first NES games, and he still has the box for it, is fucking 3D
Yep.
Noah's Ark.
So
Oh,
was
yeah. Yeah, that's right.
Which is
He does have
Noah's
that
Ark?
complete.
Yeah, which is absurd.
I'm admittedly kind of jealous about that.
Yeah, it
It's
gives me
super
cancer. That happened while he was living in my house, by the way. Like, he's living here. He's like, yeah, we're playing all these games. Look at all these cool games I have. I have, like, Chrono Trigger out of box and all this shit. And he moves back into his mom's, and he's like, dude, I went through my mom's garage, and she still had all of the boxes. Suck
Yeah,
my
it's
dick.
amazing.
And I'm just sitting there, just, like, tears of blood coming out of my eyes. Like, are you fucking
One
kidding
was
me right
Big
now?
Box Earthbound, right?
Yeah, man, it's just, oh, my God.
No.
I thought he said he
got
found
that.
the
That's
box
actually
for it.
that's a reproduction box.
Oh,
for
really?
Earthbound he has.
Oh,
yes.
okay.
Oh, it is? I thought it was the original one.
Oh, look,
But-
you have Earthbound. I just sold the complete copy box for $600, bitch. Suck it. I don't even give a fuck about the game.
Rewind Mike as humble as ever. You bald fuck. Anyways, moving on.
Wait, for real? Did you really sell?
Yeah, I don't care
It's
about the
going for-
game.
Oh, wow.
I
gonna be
honestly,
600 complete in box.
600 for
Yeah.
complete in box is not an unreasonable price for that. I'm not saying I would pay it, but I'm just saying at the last couple of conventions I've been to, I think I saw it for like
If I
5,
wanted
6.
to play that game, I would just, spend the $10 on the eShop and play it on the Wii U.
Well, that's actually what I did. Oh my god, I hate you so much, Lucius. Nice play. 10 out of 10. Smooth move, you fuck.
Let me just
Yep,
place
there you
this
go.
background right
Talking
here.
about big dicks right there.
Yeah, let's just place this up here.
Showing that thing off.
Yeah,
Like, oh, it's flopping it around.
Earthbound, literally, Earthbound's the reason.
I got the scratch and sniff stickers too.
Wait, you have one of the most overrated games in your hands right now.
I know, and it's so pretty.
That game is the reason I bought my Wii U, because I was looking up prices on Earthbound, and I was like, shit, I'll just buy a fucking
Emulate.
Wii U, dude.
Why
Jesus.
will people emulate? I don't get
Yeah.
it. What is
Yeah,
the
exactly.
Because
stigma
Because
against
it's
the wrong
illegal,
way
Mike.
to live.
It's
It's
illegal
the
and
wrong way to
immoral.
live.
you buy reproduction carts that
Yeah,
work
like I'm saying now,
damn
for
right.
people who
American-
comment on my, sorry for stepping on him, but people who comment on my rare NES video, I say just get a freaking EverDrive or like a power pack and just load it up with the whole library.
Same.
company
Same.
money. You're getting some
Same.
freaking douchebag money who's trying to pocket $600 for a Skipley
Yep,
pocket.
exactly.
Skipley
Don't
box
feed
copy is Earthbound.
Yeah, you're the douchebag who's driving up the market, fucker. I take this.
I don't
and
care about Earthbound. I didn't care about it. I got it in a lot from my friend. He was selling all his games. I got a really good price on everything. I got like
Oh my
more
God.
different systems with like crazy. Anyway,
I'm
I
gonna puke
probably
in your mouth.
paid
The question
about-
is, it was an auction, you're saying, right?
No, my friend sold it to me because he was selling off
Oh.
all his games, and he was like,
Oh,
"I
okay.
know if I give it to you, it'll go to a good home." I
And
probably
then
paid
you
about
sold it to someone on
I
eBay.
probably paid about $20.
Yes, I'm saying
for
the,
a complete
the
box
eBay
copy of
auction when
Earthbound.
you sold it. Did you
Oh
set it
no,
low?
I sold
for
it
the-
on a. I set it on a sell it on a Facebook group to
Fucking
avoid
Oh,
kill
okay,
me.
gotcha.
and stuff
to
like
some
that.
other
Oh my God,
scumbag
kill me.
reseller.
Absolutely. I asked him how the game was the other day. He's like, "Oh, I still have it in the box. Like in the
Oh
box
my
I sent
God.
it to him in. I don't care. I got the money. I didn't."
Yeah. No, I'm saying when we got to the
Eventually.
guy, it's like you're spending that much on a game and you're not going to play it right away.
He's
Come on.
hoping
now.
it's going to go up down the road, but I'm pretty sure I sold it at like the maximum. That game was going for around 1,000 at a time, I want to say.
Oh, I mean, I honestly don't blame you. If you don't care about the game at all, absolutely go right ahead and sell it. I mean,
Like I said, I got it in a fucking lot with so many other games, man. And I was like, "Oh, cool! I got Earthbound. This is awesome. I'll try it." And I put it in. I was like, "Fucking reading. I'm done.
Oh my
Give
God.
me platforming."
That's enough, though. All this Earthbound talk is just filling me with cancer, because I thought I got my copy at a good price, but I can't take it. I'm going to punch a hole through one of my monitors here in about 30 seconds, so let's go ahead and fucking shift gears before I pop a blood vessel. Fuck! Okay. All being said and done, though, we're running out of time a little bit, so there were some things I wanted to talk about that we're going to unfortunately have to skip. So quickly, I would like to say that chat mentioned it. I do agree. The day levels in Werewolf Sonic are pretty good. All the werewolf shit is fucking terrible, but the day levels are not bad. I will admit that. I would also like to say that Sonic Generations, right? That's the one with old Sonic and new Sonic,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
That game,
Fun.
fucking sick. That game is awesome. So wanted to briefly give props to that. And then
Well, it's
also...
cool 'cause
No,
it's
go
got
ahead,
the
Mike.
2D, 3D segments. The old Sonic plays 2D style, and then the new Sonic
Yep.
levels play kind of like a 3D style, where you can still do like the forward dash and stuff like that. So Sonic Generations is like the biggest step in the right direction. And has anybody played Sonic Colors?
Colors
That's
is
what I was
No,
gonna say.
I wanna.
Colors.
That's one of the ones on my
I
list.
hear Colors
that I
is
definitely wanna
great.
get.
Yeah, Colors
Dude,
is good
such a good game. Oh my god, man. It's like, where did they go wrong with some of the newer games, dude? It's like you started to get back on track, and then like they're like, oh, we're gonna do a completely new game based off of a cartoon and allow some guy on the internet to review it. And
too. See, I did want to get into Boom just because we did have Matt on, but since we only have about 10 minutes left, what I really wanted to get into, because I feel like this is a pretty meaty topic, I wanted to talk about Sonic Mania and Project Sonic
Yes.
2017.
Yes, finally, something I can talk about.
Because those are definitely... Hey, you got to talk about Earthbound, you cuck. I don't know what you're complaining about. But, yes.
This?
Yeah, that right there, yeah. Sonic Mania and Project Sonic 2017. Because I, for one... I mean, these are the perfect examples of games I'm really excited for and games I'm really not fucking excited for. Because Mania looks awesome in my mind. It looks super fun to me. I want to get my fucking hands on it. It sounds awesome. That trailer is fucking balls. Like, they killed it. Good job. 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
But then I look
Can we just talk about the trailer for first, just a little bit there? Because that trailer was so perfectly executed.
Really well
just-
done.
The symbolism of it, of showing the game and then showing it was almost like they were saying, here's our mistakes in reverse. So let's go back from our mistakes. Let's go back from all this terrible crap and get you something that you want. And then that was a beautiful trailer. Like, I don't, that may, if the game turns out to be shit, I will still have fond memories of seeing that trailer. Because that was perfectly executed. Just I'm hyped for it. Like, I haven't been hyped for a Sonic game since, God, I don't even remember when. But I'm looking forward to that game.
I really am too, because for me what it was is they did the whole broadcast, the 25th anniversary broadcast, right? And I wanted to check it out, and it was a fucking train wreck. There were like audio issues, and it was just god-awful horrible. So I'm like, oh, I'm just turning this off. And I didn't know about it. So I was like putting together the show notes for this, and then I was like, oh, I guess I should look up Mania in 2017. And I saw the trailer for it on YouTube, and it was literally just like, I'm sure I looked like a kid on acid. Like, I imagine my eyes just got wide and my pupils just dilated. Like, it was just like, give this to me now. I need to take this. Let me play. It just looks so good. And I think it's...
I mean...
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, but
no, go
I was
ahead.
just saying, maybe I'm in the minority, but the thing is, I mean, yes, it looks really good, but the thing is, it's like, there's a ton of people out there making really good 2D Sonic games, all the hackers and whatnot. So it's like, I mean, yeah, it looks good, but I'm just, I don't know, I'm not that excited about it. It's like, 2XL looks more creative to me
2XL
than
is
that.
sweet. I will give you that.
Yeah.
I actually played 2XL before you made that video, because it was one of those things where somebody was like, dude, have you fucking seen this? And like there was a guy who lived in my house who was like this 500-pound piece of shit, horrible human being who would puke on himself. And so when it got passed around, it was like, hey, check it out, you can fucking play as this guy. It's great. Like, oh, nice, good joke, dude. But yeah, like 2XL is awesome. Don't get me wrong there. But it's so... I want to use the word refreshing. I almost went for hopeful, but it's refreshing to see a Sonic game that looks like a Sonic game. You know what I mean?
I can understand that.
I mean, let's look at is Matt, you're a guy who's playing these hacks and who's into Sonic. I'm a guy who's not been into Sonic for years. And that's kind of what they're appealing to, is they're appealing to me.
Yeah, I can
and
understand
they're getting
that.
me back.
Whereas me, of all the recent games, I've really at least liked them all, if not, love. Maybe go love, yeah. So I can
fuck you! Are you about to say you love Sonic 06? I will end this call right the fuck now, man.
I will say strong like. I won't go love.
Okay,
I will
thank
say
you.
Strong
Please.
Well,
yeah.
Another thing about the mods, though, is not only are they like adding new stages and mixing characters up in games they weren't in before, they're creating all new models for most of these games, and they're also adding new mechanics to a lot of these hacks too, which
that is
really cool function because it changes up, the whole way the gameplay is. But what I'm excited about with Sonic Mania is what they do with the new engine, with stuff that can do more stuff that the Sega couldn't process or couldn't do, something like that. Like, there's one scene where you see Sonic running through something and the glass starts to break. Things like that are really cool looking, really catching to the eye, but also you wonder what they can do with the gameplay with that now too, because it's another scene where you see Sonic like get into some fucking vehicle and it
transmitted.
It gets launched across to the other side of the stage. So those are, the mods are cool, but like the thing I'm excited for is to see what new things they introduce into the game.
Yeah, I don't know. did you guys see chat? Apparently, one of the well-known Sonic modders is heading for headcanon, like one of the teams working on Sonic Mania. So that probably explains a lot of it.
Makes a ton of sense.
The thing for me. Oh no, go ahead, Luke. It's fine.
Also limiting it to Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles, brilliant.
Very intelligent move. Don't get me wrong, I actually do like a lot of the secondary Sonic characters. Like, I don't hate them, you know what I mean?
I need more silver.
I don't.
Need more silver.
I don't. Not even Knuckles, I'm glad he's there because he was cool, but Knuckles for me is kind of like when the series started going downhill. It's like, oh shit, they're adding more and more characters. I mean, once again, I'm not a Sonic fan. I'm not a Sonic fan. You don't give me that look, Mike. So that's why I was like, thank God we're not having all these other freaking ridiculous characters that are on the freaking comic or on the TV show or in the newer games. We're just getting a straight, almost like Sonic 4. Like, that's what it feels like.
Even
like
though
Sonic.
Of course, I already had a Sonic 4.
I know.
Yeah, I mean Sonic 4, but good.
Very
You
mixed.
know what I mean, though. But like
I don't
a
think
true
Sonic
sequel.
4 games are bad. I honestly like them. I think they're quite enjoyable. Yeah, it's completely
I haven't played
different.
them yet. I want it
Dude,
sometime.
there is a double jump mechanic that will absolutely piss you right the fuck off, but if you can learn to not press jump multiple times, it's actually quite enjoyable to play.
Okay.
Some of the
Very
harder things are trying to get all the chaos emeralds on each.
If you can ignore a core mechanic in the game, it is excellent.
There are times when you don't want to hit double jump, but by accident your hand hits it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Sure.
what I'm saying. It's not like, intentionally where it homes in on enemies. Of course you want to fucking do that. There's actually shortcuts based around homing in on enemies to cross huge gaps, which I think is cool. I like it.
Yeah.
It's something new to the game that wasn't there already.
The thing that I really like about the Sonic Mania trailer, and maybe I'm just weird for this being the thing that really hypes me up about it, but it's the sprites. Like, the fact that they just are taking the original animations and redoing them and updating them. Like, seeing the 60 frames foot loop and, like, the corkscrew jump, that's the one that hit me, man. The second I saw that corkscrew jump, it was like, ooh, baby, it's getting hot in here. I'm getting sweaty. Like,
There's no 2.5D either, is there? It's all sprites, right?
yeah,
Yes.
it's all sprites.
Yeah. Great
Right.
decision. Great decision.
But
Were you about to comment on how terrible Sonic 2017 looks? Because that's what I was going to say.
That's the one I'm more interested in, honestly.
God damn it, Matt! What is wrong? No, I'm kidding. I love you, but I love you. I'm just saying, like, I saw that trailer and I'm like, oh no, it's Sonic 06 too. Matt's gonna love this, but it's gonna make me want to slit my wrist.
Give it to me. Give it to me, baby.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, I've heard it looks like Sonic Generations 2, which
that's what it is.
I'm willing to hold out on it. I don't know. I wish we had seen gameplay instead of just a trailer. I like to see gameplay instead of a cinematic cutscene.
I don't know. I'll give you. They're selling it at Generations with the whole new Sonic, old Sonic thing, but they're selling it like 06 with everything else in that fucking trailer.
I see what you're saying, Don, because in the trailer it does it gives me the vibe of like Soliana like being destroyed
Same
and whatnot.
visual styles, same fucking design aspects. Like it.
It's a little bit more cartoony looking. The buildings aren't like real looking or anything like that. So, I mean, it's not super photorealistic like 06 was. I'm lying out of my
I'm
ass.
hopeful for it, and of course I probably will love it. So
I'm sure you will, Matt. And don't get me wrong, even the reviews that fucking knife me straight to the heart when you give them innocence, I'll give you at least their good reviews. I can never say you're dumb and not using logic.
Yeah, as long as you enjoy them.
I can't ever say they're not well-made videos. Your editing's fantastic, but it's just
thank you.
You are a very forgiveful gamer. You are much
I
kinder
know,
soul
which means
than myself.
I need to play Devil's Third because that game looked sick.
Oh my god!
It's not bad. It's really not a bad.
It looks so
game. It's
fun.
not.
So much
It's just
blood.
all the problems it had, with that long ass development time. I couldn't forgive it in that regard.
Well, I guess that'll
Honestly,
probably wrap it up for
because
Project,
I was playing.
though.
I will say this much because I was playing it on the briefly on the because I was playing it on the gamepad. If I had my Pro controller, then I might have been a little more lenient towards it. I'll say that much.
Actually,
I probably would have
the
enjoyed
Pro
it.
controller. It's good.
Because the Pro controller is fucking awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like the Pro.
All Wii U all Wii U owners should definitely get that.
If you don't have one,
Definitely
you're
for sure.
fucking up. That's
Yep,
true.
they're
Like
great.
I'm replaying Twilight Princess HD, and just it feels so nice on that controller. I fucking love
absolutely.
it, man. It's good.
Imagine.
What's that, Mike? What's that?
I don't care for Twilight Princess.
Yeah, we've had this conversation. Rewind, cuck. We'll get back into it sometime. Don't worry. We'll do a Zelda podcast, and you can be on there. I'm sure it'll come to fucking blows. Don't
Yeah,
worry.
where the 17, baby. Oh, I'm being on that shit.
Hell yeah. But I think we'll go ahead and wrap it up there, especially
Big
since
dick
we
in it and all.
touched on Mania in 2017. So this is normally where we wrap up, and I want to give everybody a chance to go ahead and tell people where they can reach them, plug any projects coming up if they want to do that. So why don't we go ahead and start with you, Matt?
Okay. Well, you probably know me anyway. I'm that idiot who doesn't know what good games are, according to it.
No, it's
years
just
back.
06 and boom.
So, and as if you didn't know me, I mean, of all the talk during this podcast, I'm sure you get the idea that I do like a lot of what most people consider to be crap. But anyway, yeah, my channel just. Even if you just look up LJN Defender in a YouTube search, you'll find me. But it's Cygnus Destroyer 20XX is technically the URL. So go there. You'll find all my series, LJN Defender, just plain Cygnus Destroyer, and of course Innocent Until Proven Guilty, where I did. I've done a bunch of Sonic games there. I did Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis, which is like I know it's a crutch or whatever, but when people ask me my least favorite Sonic game, I always say that even though it's just a port of the original Genesis Sonic game, it's just one of the worst ports I've ever played. So, but yeah, we talked about Boom, Rise of Valeric, and 06. You can watch those videos in that series. But yeah, just go to LJN Defender, look that up, Cygnus Destroyer 20XX, and of course I'm on Twitter at Cygnus Destroyer, Facebook.com/Cygnus Destroyer, all that crap. So there you go.
Very nice, very nice.
Yeah.
What about
Jesus.
you?
What's up?
What about you, sir? Where can people find you and any plugs?
So I'm Luke, although I go by the name Lucius T. You can see me on Lucius Showcase on the YouTubes or Twitter or Twitch. I do different series. I just launched a new one this week called Retroactive because I needed an excuse to play more games like Mighty Number 9 that are retro themed but modern. So I covered the new game Fury, which if any of you guys have PS Plus, go download it now. Best soundtrack of the year. And one of my best games of the year so far. It is so much fun. And if you play it through in the normal mode, but then try to do the difficult mode if you can, because that's when the game really shines. Also, I do a series called Noob Gamer, where I teach my girlfriend how to play old games and have various different funny things happen. And yeah, I'll be streaming all next month of No Man's Sky, because that's going to dominate my life.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I'm planning on that. We'll see how it goes. It looks pretty great. Yeah. But yeah, that's me, Lucius T, baby.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and not touch on the No Man's Sky hype, because that could be a whole episode on its fucking self. But where can people find you, Rewind Mike?
That same exact name on YouTube, Rewind Mike.
Hey,
you
there
can
you
type it into your search bar, but I'm going to tell you right now, if you try to type in YouTube /Rewind Mike, you're not going to get anything because they did not give me my own URL, but whatever.
Oh, that's bullshit.
Yeah, it is, dude. Especially
Wait, how many subs do you have right now?
336, something like that, dude. But I made my account before that whole thing kicked off into play, so my thing should have came in. Yeah, it's anyways. Yeah, pretty much. So if you search Rewind Mike, you guys search on your YouTube search engines and
check out his. If you haven't already, check out his Konami NES years videos.
You're actually in the next video that's coming out. Also,
fucking awesome. You guys will enjoy them.
Best year. Shut up. Everybody in Multitap pretty much makes an appearance on these Konami videos, but it's pretty much a big retrospective that covers all the games that Konami developed on the Nintendo. Not the ones they published, just the ones that they worked on in-house and made for themselves, because it sort of shows their growth and how they started to understand the system towards the end of the life, and I just kind of wanted to put a whole emphasis on that. So as soon as that's done, though, I do have another series in the same vein that I'm going to be doing for another company, which I will not name right now, but a lot of other people do know about that. I also do a ton of shut up, Luke. I also have a ton of reviews and stuff like that on my channel already from being on YouTube for so long and stuff like that. So Yeah, I mean, I do pickup videos, fucking top tens, first impressions. I've got a couple of product reviews on my channel for some of the USB plug-and plays because, unlike Luke, I do enjoy playing my games on an emulator because of the goddamn it's easier to do. I don't have to break out 30,000 cables and
Emulators are awesome.
Game's not working. I got to jiggle it around. No, I don't got to do any of that. It loads up right away when I want it to. Anyway,
I love playing on I love playing on the actual consoles, but emulators are definitely a handy tool for me. I use them all the time for my thumbnails and all that stuff. So
only genuine
emulators kick ass.
On Lucius Showcase, only genuine.
What? That man uses reproduction cards on his channel. Don't go there, guys.
That's a phony.
Phony.
Hashtag shut down Lucius Showcase. Hashtag bring back Test Your Might. That's it. Done and done. Shinjin Ruth. And there's your shot for the night, everybody. And then, as far as myself, you can always find me over at Twitter, over at NA1I. I'm really easy to reach there. I also do stream 4 to 5 days a week with my buddy Veritech over on his channel, as well as my own, which is Twitch TV/HOTS1I for Heroes of the Storm. If you guys know me, you know where that comes from, so no worries. And then you can also find me doing the Guardians podcast besides this, and we do that every Friday at 6 p.m. Mountain, which I want to say is 8 Eastern, unless I'm mistaken, right? I think that's the way that time works.
Yeah, I think so.
And that's a podcast show that primarily covers Overwatch, patch content, competitive results, things like that. So you're always welcome to join us and find me over there. As far as this episode is concerned, thank you everybody who showed up live and watched us and interacted in chat. It's always very much appreciated. Thank you for the listeners who are catching us on iTunes and everything like that. And then as far as for myself and my co-hosts, thank you guys, and we will see you next week.
Yeah. Bye, everyone.
Later, guys. Thanks for watching.
Yeah.
Emulators suck.